Welcome, everybody. I am jumping up and down, excited I've had so many questions lately about the Doula website template. So I'm excited to have Makena here, who is the amazing designer behind the team that has created these awesome Doula website templates. And we're going to walk through what they look like, answer all your questions, and just tell you the whole deal. So I'll start by saying, I'm the Doula Darcy, and I have a 10-year marketing career, and now I'm helping doulas with the business and marketing side of being a doula. And just a website is the number one place I see doulas getting stuck. And it was just so frustrating to hear this. And what it comes down to is if you don't have a website, and if you don't have a good website, and by good, that shows up in Google searches and looks professional, if you don't have that, really impacts you getting clients, which means that really impacts the number of families that get a doula. And that is my whole goal in life. So it took a while, but Makena and I found each other, and her last name is Delaney, and my first baby's name is Delaney. So that's the first sign that this was just meant to be. But anyway, Makena is an awesome website designer. We partnered up, and she has created these 5 different doula website templates that just make it so easy for low-tech doulas to get a beautiful, functional, affordable website. And I should have looked it up, but we have dozens and dozens of doulas who have built their website or used one of these templates, and they all love it. They're beautiful. And then they're customizable, so they're all different. But we give you that template to pop your own colors and words and pictures in and make it your own. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Makena, will you tell us a little bit about your professional background?
Hi everyone, I'm Makena. So great to connect with everyone. I've been in business 5 years this month. Woo woo!
Congrats.
Thank you. I have a business administration degree and I minored in IT, and a few things smashed together at once that allowed me to figure out, hey, building websites for a living might be a fun thing. And fun fact about me, my dad actually built Dave Ramsey's first website. So crazy.
No way.
Yes, he sure did. I have some crazy stories about that. I'll share one quickly, but I was at my very first networking event, and the only person in the room that I could even break into conversation with was this older gentleman. And I had said, "Oh, my dad built Dave Ramsey's first website," and he ended up being the head of Dave Ramsey's technology department. And he was like, "Oh, Alan Delaney," and I was like, "Yeah," because up until that point, I actually did not believe my dad. But anyway, needless to say, I have lots of experience in the industry, and I've built websites for a variety of industries at this point. But I love working with my doulas because you're right, 100% on the low tech side. It's like I get to be the tech support and help you through all the challenging facets of it. And part of my goal is to just teach people how to help themselves figure out the tech, because the reality is, as business owners, we have to know. We have to know the tech side. So I really try to help be there as like a support beam for them.
Yeah. And everybody loves you. All the doulas love you. I get one email a week and they're like, Makena's so nice. But this, honestly, there's so much I love about these doula website templates, and I don't talk about this a lot, but I think one of the biggest things is that with this process, with these templates, a doula has full control of her website, and you watch all these videos. Makena teaches you how to do it, and it's easy. You know how to log into your website and make changes, how to log in and update your prices, add a new service, change something that needs to be changed, add a new certification that you get. I talk to so many doulas all the time who paid a lot of money for some guy to make them a website, and now they can't find that guy or girl, whatever. They can't find the person, and they have no idea how to make any changes, and they're stuck, and they
Mhm.
have to go pay to get a new website. So that's one.
Well, one of the things that I do for our doulas is I call it like training wheels. So I'll leave the original permissions on, which are like more locked down until they're ready for that full
Yeah.
access. And that way they don't feel like they're going to break anything either. Because I know like with my one-on-one clients, they have the same feelings of, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in there and X something and then it's gone forever. And so I try to leave it one way. And then when they're ready to like fully take over, like we probably have 50% of the doulas probably have, you know, full access to editing if they want it, but anybody can have it. It's totally up to them. It's just
Yeah.
I want that like level of comfort for people too.
Yeah. And this is another cool thing about the website. So it's a template, or you get to choose your template, you watch the videos, you learn how to make it your own, and Makena's in contact with you until it goes live. And then you basically have Makena there, or the team, if something comes up. And then I don't think this happens a lot, but it's just so good to know that you have that. If there's an issue, they can reach out to you. They can reach out to me. Like, you're not floating in this void of, oh, I have a
Yeah.
website now.
Like who has the answers, right? Like I had a client one time who, and this is a great example of like why it's great to have me on email. She had her email hacked and she had her email hacked, and then GoDaddy was sending her domain renewal notices to that hacked email. And
Oh,
so her domain expired without her ever even having a clue that was going to happen. And so that was really a major problem for a variety of reasons. But she shot me an email from a different email address and let me know, hey, my website's down. My website's down, which on my end, everything looked okay because I didn't know that the domain was expired. That's within GoDaddy. And so I said to her, it looks like your domain's expired. And she's, oh my gosh, they've been sending it to the wrong email. I had no idea. So luckily within 20 minutes, we were able to buy back her domain, get her website back live. It was a really quick and easy process, but had she been on her own and I wasn't there to say your domain's expired, she probably would have lost her website. If she was just on her own, had built something else, she would have had to buy a new domain, or it probably would have taken days to realize that was the problem because it's not an easy thing. And she runs a big clinic out here in Nashville. It would have been tens of thousands of dollars of lost revenue. So it really does pay to have somebody who can just solve those problems. But the funny part is you probably never experience them because you have me. You know,
exactly, right.
she didn't experience lost income because I was there to fix it before it was a problem.
Yeah. Uh,
So,
I love that. And it's like peace of mind to
mhm.
just have that as well. As you doulas have questions, go ahead and just pop them in the chat. But let's, I guess, just start, Makena. If you could just show us, let's walk through a few of these templates. And while you're getting that up, I will talk about, you said loss of income from having your website down. I think I've just come off this week of doing all these webinars on how to get doula clients, and I'm always talking about marketing tips. I'm all for not spending any money to market your business. I think you don't need to, except for your website. You have to have a website in today's world, and the money you put into your website really pays for itself. It's $297 for one of these doula website clients. That's a fraction of one contract. And so an investment in a website is A, tax write-off, B, it's a business expense that pays for itself, and it is worth paying to have one that you have Makena's and me, we have your back with it, and a whole team. Like, this was a question that came up another time we did this webinar, like somebody wrote, what if Makena gets hit by a bus?
Don't
So
worry, there's a contingency plan in place
right.
and other people.
Yes, so there's a whole team, but oh shoot. Oh, so the money that you spend to get a website that looks beautiful, functions really well, and has the SEO, search engine optimization, baked in so that you're showing up in Google searches, is worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
Definitely.
That being said, I love this one with the little feet.
I know, it's so cute. Whenever somebody has me switch it to a different photo, I'm like, but why the feet are shaped like a heart? They're the cutest feet. So this one's called Twig and Willow. We have 3 website choices. This one's Twig and Willow. This one, I hesitate to say any of them are my favorite, but this one probably is my favorite. But we've got a couple of different sections here. So this is called the hero section of the website. This is the most important real estate you have, right? Telling somebody exactly what service you offer in what town you offer it in, and also telling Google what service you offer in what town you offer it in, right? Letting Google know that immediately is so important. And remember, guys, this is a little bit funny, but I had a client recently who was like, I don't think I need this extra sentence here. And I was like, yeah, you do. Google needs it. We're not going to delete that. Just please trust me on this. And she was like, oh, okay, I trust you. I just have ADHD and I wanted to skip over it. And I was like, that's amazing. I love you for admitting that. Not if that's anything to admit, but admitting that's why. And I explained to her, I was like, it's not just for humans, right? A website is structured in a certain way for ease of use for Google and for Google to crawl and understand. Because if it's not, then it just confuses Google, right? And we don't want to do that. We want to be as accessible to Google as humanly possible. So filling out this is super important. And then I always call this the pick your path section. Which service is going to be the one that I'm needing in that moment, right? When somebody lands on your website, they are at a certain point in the customer journey. They have a certain level of awareness as to what service they need from you. So this gets them where they need to go pretty quickly. And then, of course, we want to immediately introduce you as a doula and kind of just explain who you are, how you got to this point, but really how you serve your audience best. So that's one thing that I always think is a little bit funny that I go over quite a lot with people. And this is custom clients or doulas as well, is the about sections. The about is not about you, even though it may feel that way. It feels great to put your credentials and all the things that matter. You will not catch a single second on my website where it says I have XYZ degrees, because they don't care. Now they probably care more about y'all's certifications. I get that. But they're going to care more about how you can serve them and how you've been in their shoes and how you understand who they are and what they're struggling with. Then I always like to have what?
I was just going to say that this is the template. This is the structure.
Yep.
If you choose this one, you can change the colors. You can change the font if you want. You can change the photos, and we encourage you to do that. But you can see like the bare bones text is here to give you a jumping off point to add in when we absolutely encourage you to make it your own. But this is just like a big exhale for a doula who's just Googling, like, how do I make a website? It's like, just
here. Yeah.
take
Here's
this,
blueprint.
make a few changes, and you're done.
And that's what I always encourage people with too, is especially if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, look, the blueprint is there. Take it and fill in the any town, put your town, like boom, section done. If you can't decide on colors, leave the colors there. Now, is it a good idea to change the colors? Yes. Is it a good idea to change the fonts? Yes. We want to be as differentiated as possible. But if that's stopping you from moving the needle forward in your business, leave them. It's all good.
And you have full control. You can come back, and at the end of the day, I completely agree with you, Makena. Get your website up and then come back in 2 months and update it, because you have that power and control. And so can you scroll down to the three circles? No, this one. So this is, we have it set up here as like postpartum, lactation, sleep. These could be any 3 things. This could be birth doula, placenta encapsulation, or this could be, if you don't have 3 certifications or services, you can make them whatever you want them to be.
Yes, 100%. I think people do get a little bit caught up on that when they're trying to pick a template, because each of the templates have kind of 3 different things. We just did that for variation, but you pick your template based on the one that you like the structure of. So like really quick, let's just glance at all 3 sites. This is the hero section of the Destined Doula, and then the hero section of Luna Doula. Pick the one you like the aesthetics of the most. Like if this one with the square image right here is more appealing to you than one with a background image, then you need to pick that. And then if that narrows it down for you, you've got a header bar up here. If you don't like the look of that, there isn't one here. So it's like just choosing. They all have the same elements, right? They have a logo, navigation, and a button. Logo, navigation, and a button. Logo, navigation, and a button. And then text, a button, and an image, right? Text, button, image. So all of these same elements are in the same spots on each website. They're just structured slightly differently to get a different visual presence. But ultimately they all contain exactly the same parameters and exactly the same elements.
Which again is purposefully done that way to make it easy for Google and and humans. These layouts are simple, there's space, they're easy on the eyes. Makena's a graphic designer. This is the other thing. A website that looks like this instantly up levels you. You could be a brand new doula, but with a website like this, you look professional. And that goes a long way versus like a homemade landing page.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I talk to my clients about, just even one-on-one clients where, you know, they come to me and it might be $5,000 to build a branded website, right? It's important to set yourself apart and look professional. It's like the difference between wearing like a nice polished outfit and looking fit for the job or not showing up in your pajamas. And in some industries that works great, some it doesn't, but you're taking somebody's health and their brand new baby into account. They want to know that you have got your crap together.
Yeah.
And so I think having something that represents that you have your crap together is a great thing.
Yes. It is so well said. I love it. Yeah. Oh, and that you raise another good point. So you chart if you're doing like a custom website, that's $5,000 and up. To get a custom website from a designer is thousands of dollars. And that is worth it. Absolutely. But as a doula, like your first website, your second website, like $297 for one of these templates is a deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thing I think that people tend to get caught up on, just with my experiences with all of our doulas, is they'll sometimes think like the questionnaire is long to fill out. And I just want to say, guys, when somebody hires me at full rate, custom brand, custom website, they get no less than 52 questions. So you guys actually get significantly less questions. There's just got to be a transfer of knowledge, right? And so just keep that in mind going into this process. Like, you need to know what your colors and fonts are, but that doesn't mean that you can't pick what's here, like we talked about earlier, right? That's okay too. But I know that trips some people up, like, why do I have to answer all these questions? I thought you were doing it for me. And it's like, you still got to tell me about you because we don't know each other yet. So it's just important to remember, like, you're going to have to put a little bit of effort into it, but the result is worth it. Having something that is so you and so custom is worth every minute of your time.
And that questionnaire is what makes your personality and your information end up on the website. So it's
Yes, 100%.
worth your time. All right. Going on.
Do we want to go over the rest of the sections?
Yeah, sure. This is one of my favorite things because I think this is where clients sometimes get hung up. They're like, okay, what is a doula? Like, how does this work? And then boom, it's just, here's the steps. And you can choose these based on your own process, but
yeah, definitely you can change them up if you have different steps. That's okay. We're just trying to give them the high level steps so that they understand the process of going through with working with you. Do I have to pay ahead of time? Can I get on a discovery call with you? A lot of times they don't necessarily know that's how it works, right? So it's important to just show them, hey, working with me is as easy as 1, 2, 3, and sometimes 4. So it's very important. And then we've also got a blog section here. Now, you do have the opportunity to opt out of the blog if you choose not to have it, but it is very valuable to have a blog, very valuable for SEO reasons to have a blog. I know you teach all about that in your course on how to blog for SEO. But yeah, blogs are something that just establish credibility a lot more than just static content on your website. Plus, you can pin it and you can put it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Today, I even set up a mini chat whenever I publish a new blog post and I make a social media post about it. Somebody might comment on my social media post blog, and then they'll get sent a link to the blog. So it just gives you one more marketing avenue and one more level of connection with your clients.
So a great question. I'm broadcasting this live on Facebook too. Somebody asked the question, and this is such a good one, of if you already have a website that you don't love, can you transfer over an existing domain, brand colors, and all that? So
you'll just put all that in the questionnaire. So you just would tell me what your colors are, and then I port them into the website. As far as transferring the domain, yep, we'll just disconnect your old website and reconnect this one. You can salvage a lot of the content in terms of photos, colors, fonts, and logos and content by just copy and pasting it. But chances are this template is more properly structured in terms of copywriting content, which is all the text is called copywriting on a website. And chances are it's more like professionally structured here. So one thing to keep in mind is like follow what the prompts are in the template to make sure that you're not just copy and pasting something that Google might not have been excited about before.
Right.
And then on here we have testimonials, which are amazing to have, just give perspective to your ideal client and your prospect as to how it is to work with you. It's super important that we have social proof in our businesses, and that really does sell the deal more than anything else, I feel like.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then final on this homepage, we have the final call to action. And this just is a little section to say, find the best care, view my services. So we're just trying to use buttons strategically throughout the site to get them to the next page, which would be the services page. So right here, takes you here. So anywho.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
each template has what, 5 pages? Yeah.
Home, about, services, contact, and blog.
Yeah.
A lot of the sites, they do have me turn off the blog just to be able to get to the live moment faster, which is a great thing to do. If you need to work blogging in at a later date and just have something live, I think that's a great strategy. I do tell that to like my one-on-one clients as well. Like blogging is amazing. It's something we should all be doing. But if that's going to prevent you from doing the rest of the things in your business, like let's hit the pause button on that. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's check out the
Next one, Destin Doula.
template. Yeah.
Alrighty. Again, we just have the hero section here. We have our offering in the town that we're offering it in. Same thing there. The content, as far as the prompts, is really the same. So it's really just coming down to looks. But again, we've got this pick your path situation. So putting photos in the background here that are representative of what the services that you're offering is a great way to go about it. So sometimes people have even had that they offer nutrition to the new mom. Then we could put a picture of fruits and vegetables or a smoothie here, right? So changing it to be anything you could possibly want is easy to do. Then we've got another about section. So again, if you were here earlier with us, I'm going to repeat myself, but having an about section is really not as much about you as it is about your client, and just making sure that they recognize that you have been in their shoes, you understand what they're going through, and you can help them get through the problem or the issue that they're facing. And sometimes we think of an issue like having a baby is not an issue, but it is the fear moment that they're facing right now. So we want to make sure that we are addressing that and able to them feel good about it. And I always reference this book right here. It's called Good. But
Yeah, I was just going to say that's why they're online Googling and they're looking for a solution. So
yes. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This is a great book to read. It's called Building a Story Brand from Donald Miller, which is where most of this comes from.
Love that.
Back to the blog, back to some kind words, and then we have our process again and our final call to action. On this template, I do have hooked up Instagram, so you could connect your Instagram. I used to love that. But I don't really recommend it anymore. I just recommend putting 3 cute pictures there. I sound hypocritical because it is on my website, but at the same time, we make so many reels these days that like sometimes they're not formatted in squares anymore. So unless you're like a designer like myself who's taking that into account with when I'm putting on my reels or graphics, sometimes that can look a little convoluted right here. So I always tell people like, let's turn it into links. Just link it to your Instagram, but not make it a live feed. Because when this became a trend, every single photo that was going on your Instagram was a square, no matter what. Like they didn't even offer anything else. But it is fun to have those cute little pictures there. So I left it in the template.
Love that hot tip. I never thought of that.
It started happening about 2 years ago, and I was like, well, that doesn't look as good as it thought it did anymore. Do we have any other questions we should go over before we hop into Luna Doula?
No, we are good. No questions that I see. Anybody that has some, feel free to ask.
And then we have, this one's called Luna Doula, my personal favorite logo of all of the options. But we have the same kind of thing. We have some important text here, and then a little bit of a paragraph here. So you'll notice this one's a little bit longer than the others. And again, that's just a stylistic choice as long as you have some things here. And again, say what your service is and in what town you do it in, you're pretty solid. adding a little text here and there doesn't hurt, but we don't need to put a book here, right? We want to keep it about as long as I've left the prompts. And then again, we have this section where you can pick what's best for you. Birth doula, sleep consulting, postpartum. It'll lead you right to where you need to go on the services page. We have our about section again.
And you know what? One thing I want to say, again, if you're a brand new doula and you're only a doula, not only a doula, you're solely a doula, like those three things could be like birth doula support, meet your doula, and packages or something. There's absolutely, they don't have to be three different services that you offer.
No. And I can take two of them away or take one of them away. If you only have two, then I just hide one until you have a third service. So it makes it really easy for you to make it fully customizable. I think we just did that on a website maybe 2 weeks ago where she only had two services. That's perfect. We'll just hide one. No problem. And then we've got our blog again. Do you want to talk for a minute on kind of the importance of blogging and like what it can mean for your business?
Sure. Blogging is just another way for actually to help Google show your website to the people that need to find it. That's really what it comes down to. It's another way for people to find you. It's more of you on the internet it's giving people more chances to find you. If you have a baby blog post about safe sleep and someone's Googling safe sleep, they find your blog, they find your website, they find out about you. It is a really great thing to be doing. But like you said, if you just need a website, you can pause the blog and add that on later. But it is something that's definitely very helpful. And something that I see a lot of, this is another benefit of these doula website templates. A lot of the like very low cost or free website offerings don't have a blog option. And that really ends up limiting. It's another reason those free websites don't show up in Google searches. So yeah, so that's what I'll say about, that was one of the things I said to you, Makena. I was like, these templates have to have a blogging feature.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, I love what you just said about blogging, like how it creates like a bigger digital footprint. So if you only have 5 web pages, Google is going to see you as a little small fish in the sea. But if you have 5 web pages and 50 blog posts, suddenly you have 55 web pages and you're a much bigger fish in the sea. And that's how Google views it.
Yeah. And the same goes for your clients. It's more of a chance for a potential client to have a conversation with you, learn what your style is, learn how your philosophy, just get to know you by perusing these blogs. And you could be off at a birth and someone's over here reading your blogs on your website and clicking this contact button to get in touch with you. So
yes. Oh, that brings up another good point that I love to talk about. So we're going to take a small detour here. But one of the most important things that I always talk about is how it's so important for us to get somebody from prospect to booked. And when I say booked, I mean that they have hit this get in touch button and they are taken right to your contact form right here, right? We need them to fill this out in as few clicks as possible. The last thing we want them to do is bebop around your site for forever, because the reality is people bounce off of sites quickly, right? Every type of person reads a website a little differently, which is a different topic I could talk about here in a second. I think could be valuable, but we want to get them from here to booked as quickly as we possibly can so that we can get in front of them and hopefully make a sale, right? That is the goal. We don't want them spending forever on all the different things that we offer. Yes, we need to have a flavor and a taste of this and this, but we need to get them on a call as quickly as humanly possible, because there's nothing like human connection to, make them feel comfortable with exactly what they're about to experience alongside you.
But it's, in all seriousness, this was another thing that I asked you to bake into these templates, like multiple buttons for contacting. And because that's another problem I saw with so many doula websites, like it has all this beautiful language and you're making your potential client do a ton of work to scroll and click and find out like how they can reach out to you. So with these templates, it's all very easy. And what that means is you get more inquiries because you're not making your clients work so hard.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things I just wanted to get off on a little bit of a tangent here on is how people interact with websites. I actually had this conversation with somebody earlier and I thought it could be valuable for tonight's webinar. So think about it like this. I don't know. Are you familiar with like disc profile?
No.
Disc? Really? I'm surprised.
Is it like
Never-
a personality thing?
Yeah.
Test? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I am a certified disc facilitator. I got that certification in college, but it taught me something really valuable. And I had no idea that it would ever apply to websites, but it sure does. You have like your 4 quadrants of people, right? I'm going to dumb it down to colors a little bit more. And this is not exactly in line with disc, but red is going to be your more dominating personality. They're going to be quick to make a decision. They're going to glance at the website and be like, okay, postpartum doula in Nashville. Okay, she looks like somebody I trust. Okay, she has real social proof. She's like a real person. Probably not going to read the testimonial, heaven forbid. Doesn't have time for that. Okay, get in touch. I'm going to get in contact, right? That's probably going to be the depth of their decision-making process. So making it easy for them to find those quick moments of decision is so valuable, right? And then you got your more analytical person who's going to read absolutely every word and wants to know about you and all your certifications and probably is going to read every word about your entire life story. Whereas the other person who was red didn't really care about that, right? They were like, whatever, as long as you're good, I'm fine. Then you have like your yellow personality style, which is going to be a little bit more on the emotional side. So probably a fair bit of your guys' clients are going to be a little bit more on the emotional side. They're experiencing a lot of emotions at this phase of life, right? And she's probably going to read and go, okay, I'm a little bit scared. I really don't know what's coming next. I want to know exactly what my next steps are. And I want to know all about who this person is. And I'm welcoming them into one of the biggest days of my life. And then I'm going to go read their blog to learn more about them. That's going to be more of your yellow personality type. And then you have that last one, which is blue, which is more of a party person. So a little bit more like the red, probably going to skim more of these headlines, go, okay, oh, let me read a little bit about her. Okay, let's go to the services. What services does she offer? Okay, birth doula support, postpartum, I probably need that. Okay, great. Let me get in touch. They're going to be a little bit more intense than the red personality, but not as intense as either yellow or green, right? Green, it's going to come more down to numbers more than other colors. Yellow is going to be a little bit more based on emotions and a little bit less based on price. But that is why it's important that even if your brain doesn't care about some of these features or doesn't think some of them matter, they do. Each piece of the website matters to a different personality type. And the reality is we're all going to encounter those different personality types throughout our business journey.
This is fascinating, and I am giggling because I am definitely a red. Scroll the headlines, make sure they're real, and then talk to them. So when I'm talking to doulas, I see so many doula websites that you get to the website and then it's this 5-page essay of single typed words. That's beautiful, but me,
No,
moving on.
gotta go.
So I'm always telling doulas, like, you just need the bare bones information at first. Have all that other flowery stuff has to be on your website for those people who need it, but and like what you were talking about also, I say this too, like the beginning of your website shouldn't be all about my life story and my certifications, because I would say probably all personality types want to know first how you're going to help them, and then you hook them with that. So again, these are set up like you're giving everybody all personality types, the information that they need, and then the ones who want to click through and do more digging, one click, they get what they need. But
Yeah,
that was
well,
really fascinating.
yeah, isn't that fun? I think a lot of business owners are red, which is why it's important to bring this topic up.
Yeah.
We all are like, okay, I just need the highlight reel. But yeah, that's design hierarchy, right? We pick out the most important words to go in this big bold lettering that's easy to read, and
Yeah.
then the details are more so in the paragraphs there. But yeah, that's all for a reason,
Right. So one other thing I just want to mention is we have, each of these website templates has a logo at the top that goes with it. That does not mean you have to use that logo. If you already have a logo for your doula business, you pop that into this place. If you need a logo, McKenna also, and that's a whole other, I'll send that in the email, but there's also some doula logo templates that you can use. But I just want to make it clear because that's always the first question. What if I already have my own logo? So that's one of the editable pieces of these doula website templates.
Yeah, these are just images that are inserted as placeholders for your own logo. The logos don't come with the website and they're there, but you wouldn't use that because it's not your business name. So you would want to make sure that you're buying the semi-custom brand logo template as a service and then or uploading your own logo. I would say for whoever's watching, I can't see anybody on because I'm just on a panelist side, but I would say keep in mind with each template, like what I tend to get is a lot of people will choose this template and then have a big square or round logo right here, and it just doesn't fit. So make sure that you have a logo that fits. I like this topic. I'm going to stick here for a sec because this is valuable. We don't want to eat up a bunch of this space. So this is called like the before the fold before you scroll on a website. We want a little of this to be about us and like what we look like as possible, right? We want this to be about what we offer and where we offer it, right? So again, we're back to this being the most important piece on the screen. We don't want our logo to be bigger than this. We don't want our logo taking up a quarter of the page. We don't want it. That does not earn you any money. That is the most important thing in my mind, is like remembering this is for your client. It is not to make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, although you should feel proud of it, but it is for your ideal client to quickly get the information that they need. So when you're choosing a template, you can clearly see there that there's not room to put a big square logo, right? There's more room to do that maybe on this one, but it's still not advised because again, we don't want to take up a third of this space with a logo. But this one does have a little bit more room in this area if you wanted to have a larger logo. So just keep that in mind as you're choosing, because oftentimes I do find that people will try to put it here and then it's got to be really small because otherwise it doesn't fit, right? It messes with the responsiveness of the page. When you're getting a logo made, when you are making your logo, however you're obtaining a logo, make sure you have a horizontal version and the problem is solved. That's why the Doula logo semi-custom brands have 3 versions, right? One that goes here and one that goes here, and then one you can use on social media in other ways, a stacked one. It's important to have those differences within your brand so that you can use them on flyers and they don't always have to fit in that one shape.
That was such a great point. So thank you for saying that. We have a lot of new people that have just signed on. So thank you for switching back through so they can see all the templates. It is, if you're ready to, the thing I love is getting emails from the people who purchase these templates. And they're like, I was spinning my wheels for 6 months. And I'm so glad I bought one of these templates because now I have a website in about 2 weeks. Like it can be faster, but it just depends on how fast you fill out the form and get everything uploaded. But it's for $297 is your initial investment. You have one of these beautiful, highly functional, highly professional looking websites up and running before the end of the month. And it's a game changer for your business. And then once your website is up and running, and McKenna can help, if you already have a website or you already purchased your domain, that is fine. We teach you how to transfer it over. Then after that, once your website's up and running, there's a $55 a month maintenance fee, which covers McKenna having your back if there's ever any issue. It covers your hosting. It covers can you explain a little bit about that fee?
So it covers, yeah, you pretty much nailed it. It covers me having your back. If you have a question, I'm here to answer that for you. And it covers your hosting, access to the editor, SSL certificate, all the technical junk that you don't want to deal with, right? So it's kind of that bare minimum technical crap that you don't want to deal with. And then access to me by email if you have a question. So yeah, it's really handy to have somebody that you know they know what they're doing. Just for example, I pay, I think, $127 to someone who knows how to deal with Dubsado, because that's my CRM and it drives me nuts and I don't want to know how to use it. I just want someone else to know how to use it for me. So it's the same kind of concept. She's an expert at it. And if I screw something up or delete something, she knows how to get it back and I don't. It's so comforting to know that somebody is there and can be like the voice of reason or has experienced it before. Like, guys, I've built 350 plus websites. I have seen your problem before, most likely. So it helps.
Yeah. And even the example you shared in the beginning of the person who got hacked and they couldn't get their domain, like that kind of stuff, like sends a doula into a downward spiral of overwhelm. Like when you were talking about it, I was like, I don't even know what I would do. So it's like you're paying for making your life easier and get $55 a month, like to have a website that's bringing you in many leads. That's the other cool thing I hear from doulas is they're like, my website's been up for 2 weeks. I've already gotten 3 inquiries. Like they are blown away with how quickly it starts working for them. I'm like, okay, so Julie has a really great question. If she wants to pick the third template, but her logo is a square, she's saying, can she put it at the bottom of the first page instead? What would you recommend if she loves this one, but her logo is a square?
Yeah, so one thing you could do is have your designer make a horizontal version. Most great logos do have the opportunity to be made in different formats. So that would be like my first advice. But yeah, you could definitely put it down here and then we could just use text to type out your business name here. We did that for Jennifer, I believe, on Lean on Me Doula Services. Just doing stuff like that is a good way to work around that when you have a logo that doesn't necessarily work as like a traditional logo. I notice a lot of doulas have illustrations, like they're heavily illustrated, which is technically an illustration and not a logo. I love you all, but it is what it is. Nike doesn't have an illustration, they have a swoosh, right?
One of my most popular posts I've ever done was about this rant about how like your logo is not a work of art.
Right. I always feel so offensive when I say it, but I'm like, yes, your logo is not a work of art. It is a mark that becomes recognizably yours. That is what matters most for it. And I would say generally the text needs to be the most prominent part, not a belly, not a baby, not some feet, generally.
But yeah, so we can make this work with a square logo. It might just be a small square.
We would just put it at the bottom and then type out her name here. Or like you said, make it really small, but usually people don't love that because you can't read it very good, which I agree with.
Right. Okay, I'm trying to think of other questions that people have asked in the past. But yeah, I think we have covered everything. This is, again, this is designed to save doulas time, energy, and money by getting you one of these functional, beautiful websites up in a matter of no time. And what that means is you get more clients faster. And that's the whole goal. And here is another kind of side effect that I have noticed. When you, and I'll just say myself, when I first started, I bought like a GoDaddy template, like basic 15 years ago, it did its job when I was first starting out and had no money, but I didn't love it. Like I knew it was basic and not that great. And then when I finally invested and got a real website, I was like, hey, everybody, go to my website. When you're proud of your website, it's a lot easier you're more apt to share it on social media. You're more apt to share it with someone in line at Target. You're more apt to shout it out when you're networking to people. So having a website that's beautiful, that you love, that you're proud of goes a long way.
Okay, so I just have to throw my 2 cents in on that because that is what I always say. So I go to networking events all the time. Anybody who talks to me knows this. And I say, hi, I'm Makena Delaney. I'm a brand and website designer, and I help female solopreneurs ditch their online website shame so you can be proud to promote your business. And my sticker, like that is it's got, oh gosh, I'm gonna disconnect all my stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
But it says I ditched my website. Shame.
I love that. Oh my God. We've never even talked about that before,
I
but
know. So
it's
it's
so
very
true.
valuable to be proud of your stuff. Just think about if you're so proud of your outfit, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, thanks, girl. I got it at TJ Maxx, right? Like it's the same thing, other than being like, oh, this ratty thing, I don't love this. You know what I mean? You don't you approach the world in your marketing in such a more confident way. This fact alone will make you more money. It is the number one thing I watch my clients go through is the pride that they have in their business. They'll shout it to anyone who will walk by. They'll be like, "This is the business that I own," or they'll have it on their logo on a bag or something. Like they love to promote it. Like, guys, this is the secret to success.
It's so true. And I'm glad that it came up today. Awesome. I think we've answered all the questions. I put the link in there for anybody that wants to go read more about it or purchase a doula website. So it's August 12th. Like you'll have a website by the end of the month, by the time kids are back in school. You can like jump on those back to school vibes. I always get so energized at the beginning of September. Let's go. But actually, I think that is a thing I noticed in my doula agency, like inquiries slow down in the summer. And then it's like after Labor Day, people that are due in the fall are just like, okay, I got to get on this. I'm got to get a doula. So make sure you have a beautiful website after Labor Day when all those moms to be are doing the work and researching doulas. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I can probably answer them all. If I can't, I just pass you on to Makena, but I hope that you all will take advantage of this. Everybody who's done it just has loved it. I love hearing the feedback when people get more clients, love their website. It is the best. So thank you, Makena, for
Thank
taking
you.
this time to walk through this with everybody and for just being the doula for websites.
Right on. I like it. Yeah, and I usually turn people's websites around in a day and a half. So the faster you fill out the questionnaire, the faster I get you live.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we have mentioned that we have, once you sign up, like you're taken to this platform where you just watch a few videos that explains everything you need to do, and then you're good to go. So I hope you all take advantage of this, and I hope you all have a great night. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.